On day 12 of the Diddy sex trafficking trial, jurors heard from Sean Combs' former assistant, who testified under the pseudonym Mia. Mia told the jury that Combs sexually assaulted her several times. Let's get you caught up on her testimony.
Mr. Combs signed off on a contract to allow Cassie to do a movie, correct?
Correct.
Yes, sir.
Can you drive it home? Because, yes, I did hook her up with Michael B. Jordan. I know where we going with this.
Let's...
No.
Hold on. Mr. Donaldson, let's get a new question.
Okay. So, Mr. Nash, you hooked her up with Michael B. Jordan, right?
Indeed.
All righty.
He fine, she fine. I mean, why not? They were broken up. He was at the Revolt Music Conference with Gina.
Okay.
And I was getting threats to my phone because Cassie found out.
Wait.
Mr. Nash, let Mr. Donaldson ask questions. You give him the answers, and then we'll take it from there.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Donaldson?
Yes. So, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So, you were in Miami at the Revolt. Let's break this down, right?
Yep.
And Cassie was in South Africa with Mia, correct?
Correct.
And then it's your information that, not your information, but you observed Mr. Combs with someone else in Miami, correct?
Oh, no. You're not putting that on me. That was another stylist named Icon Tips that texted her and said, "Oh, girl, you look good coming out of the car." And she called me and told me, "Girl, is that girl Gina there?" I said, "I don't know. I ain't seen her because, Puff and Derek would keep me away when Gina was there. Never seen her or met Gina." And that's how that went.
Okay. So another stylist called Cassie in South Africa and thought that she was in the picture that was posted, correct?
No, he thought he actually saw her with Puff.
He thought he actually saw Cassie with Puff?
Yes.
But that wasn't Cassie?
No.
That was Gina?
Yes.
And when Cassie heard that, Cassie got mad?
Yeah.
Cassie got upset, right?
Uh-huh.
She was like, well, why is he out in public with this girl, correct?
Yeah. Why does he keep humiliating me and trying to ruin my career is what she said.
Okay. And she was mad, correct?
Yeah, she was pretty angry. Well, not really.
At a high level, could you describe what the work environment was like when you were working for Mr. Combs?
It was chaotic. Could be toxic. It could be exciting. The highs were really high and the lows were really, really low.
What determined what the environment was like on a particular day?
Puff's mood.
How often did Mr. Combs's mood shift?
All the time.
You can take that down, Ms. Foster. Mia, was Mr. Combs ever violent toward you?
Yes.
What are some of the violent things that Mr. Combs has done to you?
He has thrown things at me. He has thrown me against a wall. He has thrown me into a pool. He has thrown an ice bucket on my head. He has slammed my arm into a door. He has also sexually assaulted me.
Did Mr. Combs sexually assault you on one occasion or more than one occasion?
More than one.
So, Mia, how much did you sleep during your first 24 hours on the job?
I didn't.
What did you think about that?
I sort of took it as like a challenge, or maybe this was just for the trial period, or maybe it was I don't know. It was kind of like, is this how it is? But, there had been a TV show 2 years prior called I Want to Work for Diddy, where it looked like this fit the norm. So I don't know. I thought maybe it was a part of the trial.
When you were working for Mr. Combs, how often were you required to go without sleep?
All the time.
What, if any, expectations did you have about when you would be able to sleep next?
That was the thing. I didn't. I can usually power through, but I remember when I was younger, waking up for school, being tired, I would be like, okay, Mia, you get out at 3, you can sleep then.
Non-responsive, Your Honor.
It's overruled.
You can continue.
I remember thinking, let's say I had been awake for 2 days or something. I didn't have anything to hold on to because I didn't have an idea of when that could happen, when I could go to sleep.
What was the longest period of time you went without sleep because of your work for Mr. Combs?
5 days.
Generally, what were you doing in those 5 days?
Working. We were traveling. I just remember the last part being in Las Vegas. So there was always a million things going on. I remember he had club appearances, But also, he had a few impromptu music video sets. So you're running around doing whatever needed to be done.
Were you taking any medication at the time that had the effect of helping you stay awake?
Yeah, I guess so. I've had ADHD and had a prescription since I was like 17 of I take Adderall. So that helped.
Were you taking any particular kind of Adderall at that time?
Yes. At that time, it was extended release.
And what, if any, effect did that extended release Adderall have on you?
It would allow me to, yeah, I guess it was much stronger than the normal. So it allowed me to quasi-function or stay awake.
Why did you finally get to go to sleep?
I had a physical, and I guess I had a physical breakdown. I remember just my hearing went, it felt like I was underwater and my equilibrium was off. And I started not seeing things, but blurred vision or lights that weren't there. And then out of nowhere, didn't mean to, but I burst into tears, hysterical, and couldn't stop crying.
How close was he to Cassie when he got into the apartment?
Very close. I'm seated here. My back is to the balcony. And in front of me, where you are, is the entrance to the apartment. And it opens up to a living area combined with a kitchen. And then where the apartment entrance door is, where you are, the wall to Cassie's bedroom is. And Cassie was pretty close to the door on that wall. So she was probably a couple of feet from that entrance door to the right. To my right.
What, if anything, did Mr. Combs do when he was yelling about her drinking?
He then came after me and Deontay and was screaming the same thing. Has she been drinking? He was super upset. Has she been drinking? And he was crazy aggressive. And he started to attack her.
What did you see when he started to attack her?
He threw her to the ground. I saw.
How did you react when Mr. Combs threw Cassie to the ground?
I feel me and Deontay immediately jumped in and tried to stop it because we were all alone, as in we jumped in to try to help.
When you say you jumped in, what did you do?
I feel we were both trying to get him off of her. But in this quick, I don't know how to do that, and I don't know. Deontay is very small in comparison to Puff, and it happened so fast. But there was some sort of, little tornado going on. And at some point, he had Deontay in a position where I was scared it was going to kill him. And I jumped on his back.
What did Mr. Combs do when you jumped on his back?
He threw me against the wall, so quick and so easily. And I realized we were in real danger.
How fast was this all happening?
It was so fast, but it felt like I was in slow motion, but it was really fast.
What did Mr. Combs do after he threw you against the wall?
He immediately almost slow motion, I was sliding down the wall of some sort. The bedroom was to my left, and he immediately ran in, and I saw him grab Cass, and I couldn't get there fast enough. Underneath her bed was this wood, a bed platform, and the corner was the sharpest, strongest corner I have ever seen. And I just saw him pick her up, and I thought he is actually going to kill her. And he slammed her head into the corner, of the bed.
What injuries did Cassie have as a result of Mr. Combs slamming her head into the bed?
She just started gushing blood, and she had ended up with a pretty big, a scar on her forehead.
What did Mr. Combs do after Cassie's head was split open?
He immediately snapped into this protector survivor mode. He told me to get Kayla, who was the assistant at the time, who had relationships with the doctors. Get Kayla on the phone and tell her to call Dr. So-and-so and tell him that Cassie needs to see them immediately because she was drunk and fell and hit her head.
What did you do after Mr. Combs told you to call Kayla?
I called Kayla.
Why did you do that?
Because I thought that was the only way to get her help and because Puff told me to.
Stepping back just a moment, how did Mr. Combs appear when he was in Cassie's apartment?
It's his eyes turned black and there was no getting through. I was trying to get him to stop and it was he was looking through me. And it was the first time that I I guess it was the first time I realized like the severe danger that we were actually in.
Did you go to the party at Prince's?
Yes,
What happened when you got to the party?
we like danced on this purple uplit plexiglass covering of an indoor pool and hung out with our friends, and Prince performed like on a little table. We were just having fun.
Did there come a time when Mr. Combs showed up to the party?
Yes.
What did you see when Mr. Combs showed up?
I saw his like bucket hat come through the entrance and made eye contact with him.
So you and Mr. Combs locked eyes.
Yes.
How did you react after that?
Like, oh crap. Me and Cass just booked it.
You and Cassie started running?
Yes.
Where did you go?
We ran through the house, which was quite confusing, and we are trying. When you make it out to the yard, there was something across the street that looked like, I don't know if it was woods or not, but somewhere to hide, like bushes, and we were trying to run to hide there.
What happened while you were running?
Puff caught Cass.
When you say he caught Cass, what do you mean?
Like he caught up to her and had her on the ground.
What happened after Mr. Combs got Cassie to the ground?
He started to attack her, but Prince's security like swiftly intervened.
Did you ever call the police after you saw incidents of violence between Mr. Combs and Cassie?
No,
Why not?
for multiple reasons. I believe that Puff's authority was above the police. This was also a time period. This is years and years before social media, Me Too, or any sort of example where someone had stood up successfully to someone in power such as him. Also, like I was taught to believe that this fell under the confidentiality or loyalty of like Puff's business.
What did that confidentiality mean to you?
That was the most important thing. And Puff had told me that I was supposed to protect him from people because there were so many people trying to blackmail him. So I came to believe that reporting anything was blackmail.
Did you ever go to the police about Mr. Combs's violence towards Cassie?
No.
Mia, besides what we have talked about so far, are there any other times you remember seeing injuries on Cassie?
Yes.
What kinds of injuries did you see?
I would see bruises on her body and like fat lips, busted eyebrow, like a gash on her forehead, black eyes, things like that.
Mia, you mentioned that you also did cleanup of the hotel rooms, is that right?
Yes.
Who instructed you to clean up the rooms?
Puff. But it was also a part, like from the office, like standard procedure that you called. It was called sweep. Like you sweep wherever he was. Like wherever he was, yeah.
What, if anything, did Mr. Combs say to you about why you were supposed to clean these hotel rooms?
Because you wanted to clean up enough stuff that wouldn't be like a housekeeper couldn't take and run to TMZ or expose anything of his personal private business.
What did the hotel rooms typically look like when you cleaned them?
A nightmare.
And what do you mean when you say a nightmare?
They were just destroyed. Really messy.
And what specific kinds of damage did you see?
I saw a lot of candle wax everywhere that was like impossible to get out. There would be lots of wet towels everywhere. I've seen broken glass, water all over the floor, sometimes blood, oil all over, furniture and walls and things like that.
You mentioned blood. What, if anything, did Mr. Combs tell you about the source of the blood?
That it was period blood.
Who was around at Mr. Combs's house that night?
I don't remember like what security or if there were any other assistants working, but whoever was with us in that capacity, and then a bunch of people that he had brought back from his club appearance.
So Mr. Combs threw the bowl at you. What, if anything, did he tell you to do?
He said, go get everybody. IHOP right now.
And what did you do after he said that?
I started to walk. I started to go down to my room.
And why were you going to your room?
Because we had been out since like 8 o'clock in the morning. Like, go. And I was next to him and barely got a break. And I was on my period and needed to change my tampon immediately.
And how did Mr. Combs react when you started going toward your room?
He was pissed.
And what, if anything, did he say?
Like, yo, girl, I didn't tell you. Like when I told you to go to IHOP, I meant like now. I didn't tell you could go to your effing room yet. And I tried to say something and he just It made him more like aggressive and louder and like going on sort of a really humiliating rant in front of everybody.
And what did you try to say to him?
Well, after it went on for so long, there was literally blood dripping down my leg. And I finally just said like, I just have to change my tampon. I have blood dripping down my leg.
And how did Mr. Combs react to that?
He immediately he had a bowl of spaghetti in his hand and he immediately threw it at me aggressively and started cursing me out and telling me like I better get the out of his house and started. And then he chased me outside.
Did the bowl hit you?
No.
How close was it to you?
It was like a few feet, like a couple feet, like, I don't know, arm's length maybe.
Did anyone intervene?
No.
And you said Mr. Combs chased you outside?
Yes. I don't know if he made it outside, but he chased me like up the stairs and I ran out of the house barefoot.
Where did you go after that?
I ran and hid in like a bush. And then eventually I escaped to, I believe, a hotel.
Did there come a time when someone from Human Resources talked to you about this incident?
Yes.
Who talked to you?
I believe it was Vashta.
At a high level, what do you remember Vashta telling you?
That I was going to be suspended without pay. That's because Puff. That's what Puff said.
And what did they say was the reason that you were going to be suspended?
Because Puff is the boss, and that's what he wanted.
What did Mr. Combs do when you were in the penthouse?
At some point, he asked to speak to me in the kitchen.
After he asked you to speak to you in the kitchen, what did he do?
I guess he had everybody else clear the room. Leave.
Did you end up going into the kitchen?
Yes.
Who was in the kitchen with you and Mr. Combs?
Just us.
What did Mr. Combs tell you in the kitchen?
He was saying that he noticed what a good job I was doing and that I didn't have to be nervous or scared to come to him because at that time, I was just going through Malcolm, the other assistant, to ask questions, or I wasn't really like going direct to Puff. And he was saying that he had noticed I was doing a great job and that sort of like we were going to be working closer together. So we should, things like that.
What, if anything, did Mr. Combs offer you when you were in the kitchen with him?
Then he poured us shots of vodka to cheers for his birthday.
How many shots did he give you?
I think 2.
What did you do with the shots?
I took them.
Had you been drinking earlier that night?
Not that I can recall, but if so, it wasn't affecting me.
How did these shots that you took with Mr. Combs make you feel?
I remember thinking like that, whoa, did I not eat or something because they affected me? Like I felt like they hit me kind of hard.
How did shots normally make you feel at this point in your life?
I was in my 20s in New York. 2 shots would not have made me feel that way.
What did Mr. Combs do after you took the shots?
He was still talking and I just remember my back. I was standing against the wall and I just remember he was talking. And all of a sudden, his face got closer. I remember my eyes couldn't focus on his face because it was so close. And I didn't really know what was happening. And he put his arm next to my head up against the wall and leaned in to kiss me and put his other hand up the side of my dress.
I just want to make sure I have this straight. Did Mr. Combs kiss you at that point?
Yeah.
Did you want Mr. Combs to kiss you?
No.
Did Mr. Combs put his hand up your dress?
Yes.
Did you want him to do that?
No.
Were you able to tell Mr. Combs no in that moment?
No.
Why not?
I was shocked and I froze. I didn't even process what was happening.
What is the next thing that you remember happening after Mr. Combs kissed you?
My next memory is I just remember being on a chair in the main room in the penthouse and coming to the chair and the sun was coming up.
When you came to, were you clothed?
Yes.
Was anyone else around?
I don't really remember. In my memory, I don't see anyone.
At this point in time, when Mr. Combs kissed you, what did you think about Mr. Combs' role?
He was my boss. He was a very powerful person. He was to me He is younger than my dad, but I looked at him like an older, like adult. He was the boss or the king, very powerful person.
Mia, earlier you said the next thing you remember is coming to on a chair in the penthouse. Do you remember how you got from the kitchen to the main penthouse?
No,
What do you mean when you say like you came to?
that's just my next memory.
Where were you in the Beverly Grove house?
The room I stayed in was upstairs in a room with bunk beds, so I was asleep on the bottom bunk bed.
Did you lock the door to your room?
No,
Remind the jury why not.
Objection.
It's overruled.
Why didn't you lock the door to your room, Mia?
because I wasn't allowed to. That was his house, and you can't lock his doors.
And who did not allow you to lock your door?
Puff.
Did there come a point in time when you woke up?
Yes.
What caused you to wake up?
The weight of a person on top of me.
Who was on top of you?
Puff.
What do you remember happening when Mr. Combs was on top of you?
I remember it was sort of like him telling you that somehow be quiet and using this just happened so fast. Using like one hand to get, I guess, his hands or whatever off.
What did he do when he used that hand to get his hands undone?
He put himself inside of me.
So you said he put himself inside of you, is that right?
Yes.
Do you mean that he put his penis inside of you?
Yes.
How did you react when that happened?
I just froze. I didn't react.
How did you feel?
Terrified and confused and ashamed and scared.
Did you want to have sex with Mr. Combs?
No.
How long was this assault?
It was very quick but felt like forever.
How did it end?
I don't remember, but I know that he didn't like leave the job unfinished, so
He wouldn't leave a job unfinished?
yeah, whenever he was done or satisfied or got what he wanted.
Is that when it would end?
Yes,
What were you doing at the Beverly Crest house?
we were like getting him ready to go to like a meeting or run out of the house, so I was on his bedroom closet floor, like putting stuff in a bag.
Who was in the bedroom closet with you?
I thought nobody or people were always in and out, like running around. But then, Puff,
Did there come a point in time when Mr. Combs came into the closet?
yes,
What did Mr. Combs do when he got into the closet?
I wasn't paying attention. It was going so fast. But the next thing, I looked up, and he was like standing right in front of me, in front of my face.
And what happened when Mr. Combs was standing right in front of your face?
He had his penis out, and he like grabbed my head and put it in there.
So Mr. Combs took his penis out, is that right?
Yes.
And did he grab your head and pull it toward him?
Yes.
Did he put his penis in your mouth?
Yes.
How did you react when that happened?
I was just froze, and I didn't do anything. I just let it happen.
How did you feel when Mr. Combs put his penis in your mouth?
Like trash and scared and ashamed and defeated and like an idiot.
Did you want to give Mr. Combs oral sex?
No.
And how long did this last?
It was very fast, really fast.
You have now described several times in which he has sexually assaulted you. Just to be very clear, during any of these incidents, did you want to engage in sexual acts with Mr. Combs?
No.
Did you actually tell him no?
No. I only tried to squiggle out of them if I could, but otherwise, no.
Why didn't you tell him no?
Because I couldn't tell him no. I couldn't tell him no about a sandwich. I couldn't tell him no about anything. There was no way I could tell him no, because then he would know that I thought he was doing was wrong. And then I would be a target.
What were you afraid would happen if you told Mr. Combs no with regard to sex?
That he would fire me and ruin my future, and somehow twist the story into making me look like a threat.
Why were you afraid of those things?
Because I was. Because I knew his power, and I knew his control over me, and I didn't want to lose everything that I worked so hard for, or this like world that was the only thing that I had anymore.
What, if anything, were you worried would happen to your job?
It would be over, and I would never work in that industry again.
What, if anything, were you worried would happen to you physically?
Somehow attacked. I didn't want to die or get hurt.
You were worried about Mr. Combs physically hurting you if you told him no?
Yeah, always.
When you told him no, not just about sex?
Yes.
What, if anything, did Mr. Combs say to you about these sexual assaults?
He didn't, but he did threaten me sometimes with them.
And how would he threaten you with them?
He threatened that he was going to tell everybody, and he was going to telecast as though I had something to do with it.
As if you had something to do with it?
Yes.
How did that make you feel when he threatened to tell everyone?
Like desperate and terrified and happened in the worst, scariest situation. I would have done like anything to not have it happen. Like it was my fault.
Mia, when Mr. Combs was sexually assaulting you, did you tell anyone about it?
No.
Why not?
I was going to die with this. I didn't want anyone to know ever.
What, if anything, were you worried would happen if you spoke up?
I would have been silenced. I would have been punished. I would have been exiled from my second family. I would have had a horrible reputation. I would have lost everything.
Who did you think would do those things to you?
Puff and anybody he involved.
Why did you not tell HR or chiefs of staff about the sexual assaults?
HR was only around when Puff wanted to call HR to punish you. HR was not there to protect you, but also who is going to believe me. And this was way before Me Too. This is way before social media or mental health awareness or sexual assault. Way before any of this. I just thought I would be punished. There is no way I ever told them. Plus, this confidentiality.
Who instilled confidentiality in you?
Puff and the office.